will be presenting on the topic web scraping from basics to advanced data extraction using Python. In this presentation, we will start from the fundamental concepts of web scraping and gradually move towards more advanced topics. By the end, you will understand how data is collected from websites, which tools are used, how real-world applications work, and what ethical considerations we must follow. This session is designed to be beginner friendly while still giving you a complete understanding of the entire workflow. Introduction to web scraping. Web scraping is the automated process of collecting information from websites. Instead of manually copying data, a program reads the underlying HTML of a web page and extracts the required information quickly and efficiently. This is widely used in real life for tasks like comparing prices across different e-commerce websites, gathering research and market data, tracking competitors, and collecting reviews or product listings. Essentially, web scraping helps transform raw web pages into structured datasets that can be used for analysis and decision making. How the web works. To understand web scraping, it is important to know how the web works. Every interaction on the internet follows a client-server model. The client, which can be a browser or a script, sends a request to a server asking for a web page. This request is usually made using HTTP or HTTPS protocols, where HTTPS ensures secure communication through encryption. The server processes the request and sends back a response, typically in the form of HTML. Web scraping works by mimicking this process, where our program sends requests and reads the responses to extract useful data. Okay. Then what can be scraped? Almost anything visible on a web page can be scraped. This includes text such as articles and headlines, tables containing structured data like prices or statistics, images such as product photos, and detailed product information including titles, prices, and specifications. Additionally, reviews and customer feedback can also be collected. For example, we can scrape prices and reviews from e-commerce websites, headlines from news platforms, job listings from job portals, or property data from real estate sites. Technically, if data is visible in a browser, it can usually be extracted. Tools and technologies. Web scraping mainly relies on a powerful yet simple Python toolkit. Python acts as the core programming language that connects everything. The request library is used to send HTTP requests and fetch web pages. Beautiful Soup is used to parse and navigate HTML content. Selenium helps in automating a real browser, especially for handling dynamic websites where content loads using JavaScript. Scrapy is a more advanced framework used for large-scale web scraping projects. Together, these tools allow us to handle everything from simple data extraction to complex crawling tasks. Workflow. Every web scraping project follows a simple 5-step workflow. First, we send a request to the server asking for a web page. Second, we receive the HTML response from the server. Third, we parse the HTML to convert it into a structured format. Fourth, we extract the specific data we need using selectors. Finally, we store the extracted data in formats like CSV files or databases. This cycle request, receive, parse, extract, and store is the foundation of all web scraping tasks. HTML basics. Understanding HTML basics. HTML is the backbone of web scraping, as it defines the structure of a web page. It consists of tags such as div, h1 and p, which organize content. Classes are reusable labels assigned to multiple elements, while IDs are unique identifiers for specific elements. For example, a product section may contain a title, price and stock information, each identified using tags, classes or IDs. Web scrapers Web scrapers use these identifiers to accurately locate and extract the desired data from a web page. Request library. The request library is used to fetch web pages by sending HTTP request. It acts as the communication bridge between our program and the website. With just a single line of code, we can request a web page and receive its HTML content. It also provides useful information like status codes, where a code of 200 indicates a successful request. However, it is important to note that request only retrieves data and does not understand or process HTML structure. Beautiful Soup. Beautiful Soup is used to parse and navigate HTML content. It converts raw HTML into a structured tree-like format, making it easy to search and extract data. Using methods like find and find all, we can locate specific elements based on tags, classes or IDs. For example, we can extract all product prices or titles from a web page. This ability to navigate the HTML structure is what makes Beautiful Soup a powerful tool for web scraping. Now, dynamic websites. Not all websites load content directly in the HTML. Many modern websites use JavaScript to load data dynamically after the page is opened. In such cases, the request library cannot capture the required data because it only sees the initial HTML. This is where Selenium becomes useful. Selenium automates a real browser, allowing JavaScript to execute fully before extracting data. It can also perform actions like clicking buttons, scrolling pages and filling forms, making it ideal for dynamic websites. Data storage. So, after extracting data, it must be stored properly for future use. One common option is CSV files, which are simple and easy to share. Excel files provide additional features like formatting and analysis tools. For larger projects, databases are used as they can store and manage large amounts of structured data efficiently. The choice of storage depends on the complexity and scale of the project. Use cases. Web scraping has many real-world applications. It is widely used for price comparison, where business track product prices across different platforms. Job scraping helps collect job listings from multiple websites into one place. News aggregation gathers headlines and articles from various sources in real time. Sentiment analysis involves collecting reviews or social media data to understand public opinion about a product or brand. These use cases highlight how valuable web scraping can be in decision making and analytics. Challenges. Despite its advantages, web scraping comes with several challenges. Websites often use CAPTCHA systems to verify that users are human, which blocks automated scripts. IP blocking can occur if too many requests are sent from a single address. Additionally, websites implement anti-bot mechanisms such as rate limiting, and tracking user behavior. These challenges make it important to design scraping processes carefully and responsibly. Ethics. Web scraping must always be performed responsibly and ethically. It is important to respect the robots.txt file of a website, which specifies which parts can or cannot be accessed. We should avoid sending too many requests to prevent overloading servers. Ethical scraping also means avoiding personal or sensitive data and following the website's terms of service. By maintaining these practices, we ensure that scraping remains legal and respectful. Mini project. To understand the process practically, consider a mini project where we scrape news headlines. First, we choose a news website. Then, we use the request library to fetch the web page. Next, we use Beautiful Soup to find the headline elements. After that, we extract the text and links of each headline. Finally, we store the data in a CSV file. This simple workflow demonstrates how the same 5-step process can be applied to real world problems. Now, summary. To summarize, web scraping is the automated process of collecting data from websites. A small Python toolkit including Request, Beautiful Soup, Selenium and Scrappy is sufficient for most tasks. Every project follows a standard workflow of requesting, receiving, parsing, extracting and storing data. Dynamic websites require browser automation tools like Selenium. Finally, it is essential to store data appropriately and follow legal and ethical guidelines while scraping. Thank you for your attention. This concludes the presentation on web scraping. I hope you now have a clear understanding of how data can be extracted from websites and used effectively. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them. Thank you.